Didn't even give me a heads up back there, but yeah, we're live. Are we? Are we? Hold on, let me check. Yeah, we are live. Thank God. All right. There was a chance that this thing was going to be a few minutes late, but hey, we made it back. We made it back. I know there's a lot of craziness. I was like right in the middle of something, and then I hear the entrance music come on there, and I'm like, crap. But anyway, all right, so we're back. We got it all figured out. Welcome back to another episode of Whitty Reviews on the Chateau de Mars Hill Network. I am Steve Whitmer, a.k.a. Slick Whitty, a.k.a. Baron of Banville, a.k.a. the most feared man in Indy. Maybe. More like the most feared person in GOP. Definitely. So anyway, tonight's show is going to be a little bit special. It's going to be the number 2 of this whole Marion County GOP race. And what's going on with it, and then the things that I found out, even in the last 24 hours, too, racing to get everything labeled up. But some of the comments that I heard was, hey, Whitty, you're not such a nice guy. You're doing too much truth bombs out there, pal. And, we don't like it when you talk about boomers punching their dick because they're talking to Natalie Goodwin and stuff. And I say, well. Oh, well. And we're going to talk about our friend Abu as well. Almost ate it there. But, here's the thing. I understand a lot of you guys don't like me, and that's a you problem. Because all I'm here is telling you what I found. Whether you like it or not, this is the truth. This is all that I bring to the Whitty Review show is like, hey, this is my opinion, this is the truth, and here's how it is the truth. And, sometimes I feel a little bit bad. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing something, maybe a little bit wrong, or like maybe I've gone too far. But then I remember, wait a minute. You had a Republican precinct committee woman helping out a Democrat. I brought it up to everybody, and nobody wanted to talk about it. So, cry more. All right, but let's just do a quick recap of what's going on. But before we get there, make sure that you're subscribed to the Whitty Review channel on YouTube. Also, make sure that you're subscribed to Indie Reporter on Twitter, aka Twatter, aka X. And also, I know that we're doing good things because I see Rokita is clipping the same stuff that we are clipping over here. So hey, also check this out. 831 followers. That's not bad, honestly, for like a month and some change. We're doing great things over here. We're getting contributors on the daily. It's pretty awesome, not going to lie. So, all right, so what's going on? What's going on is we got the Marion County GOP chair race going on right now. It's on March 1st, and right now we have 2 candidates as far as we know. I think you have like 2 or 3 days to register as a candidate before it actually starts. So right now it looks like it's just going to be Natalie Goodwin versus John Schmitz, aka Johnny Suitcase, aka Johnny GOP. And basically, Natalie's claim to fame was that she ran against Nick Roberts, raised over a lot of money, $126,000, to Nick Roberts $132,000, and still lost to a 23-year-old twink who lives with his parents and has no full-time job. And all the ethics reports actually came out today, which is pretty cool. That's going to be this Saturday show. So, well, we all have to remember too, Marion County's pretty blue. Even in a county-wide race, Ryan Mears won 60-40 to Cindy Carrasco, and even Joe Hogsett beat Jefferson Shreve basically the same amount, 59.4 to 40.6. Oh my God, almost the same amount of percentage. I didn't even realize that, but definitely with a lot less votes. And this is why I point this out every time to the GOP, but they never want to listen. Look at how many people showed up to it. 223,000 to 164,000. There were 90,000 people that voted for Carrasco. Now, if those 90,000 people showed up for Shreve, which we know why, and we will talk about in the next part, in the next set of like 100 tabs that I have open right now, I'll explain why. But our old pal Abu the Toad, has decided that he is going to align himself with the establishment and make sure that he plays cover for Natalie Goodwin. And this is one of the things from his cheat sheet, his gossip column, his bullshit column, the kind of things that you read while you're taking a giant dump. I call it the Abu. Hey, what are you doing, Whitty? I'm taking an Abu right now. Boy, and it is crushing me. It's crushing my butthole right now. Abu, why are you so rough? I gotta get the wipes out, Abu. So anyway, and to little more dash of crazy to the special sauce. March 1st is the day of the Marion County, blah, blah, blah. Joe Elsner stepping down, vying to take his place right now. Natalie Goodwin, who ran for blah, blah, blah. And John Schmitz. We've been hearing from PCs who are annoyed at Schmitz for several reasons, and the fact that he ran a candidate against a lot of incumbents in last year's primary forced him to spend money that could have been saved for the general election. He's also been bragging about he has the votes to win. Where have we heard that before? All right, that's right. And last November's election. What were the results? Andre Carson. By the way, Abu is friends with Andre Carson. There's a bunch of pictures out there with him. Go ahead and look him up if you want to. All right, so I obviously the last week's show I took away a lot of tabs, but we got to make sure we understand who Natalie Goodwin is and how establishment she is too. So where is it? Natalie Goodwin, if she were currently working at some venture capitalist firm, she was on the Todd Young campaign. Remember, Todd Young, very, very important for all you Todd Young fanatics out there. She also worked for Suzanne Brooks and some other stuff that a high schooler would work at. Her hubby is a certain Nicholas Goodwin, who is right now a lobbyist for the Indiana Healthcare Association. Remember how many times I said if there's government affairs involved with it, you're a lobbyist. Also, he was body man for Dan Coates. Make your jokes as you want them. It doesn't matter to me. All right, but also we have to look at her campaign donations. This is where it gets really interesting. Who was her treasurer? Oh, crap. Hold on. There we go. Megan Savage. And this is very important, folks. This is very important. I'm doing just a quick recap here. All right. Megan Savage also gave Natalie Goodwin $1,000. And hold on, let me pull this up. There we go. Hey, Kiff is in the house. Let's go. Kyle Walker, Michael Paul Hart, which I thought was interesting because he was running for re-election. Anybody who's run for an election before, you will know you need every single penny for your election. So $100 is still a lot of money. Steve Collier, who's the former Lawrence mayor, the Oorah PAC, and you're probably wondering who is the Oorah PAC. Well, that is Todd Young's PAC. Yes, Todd Young. Don't worry. We're going to go a little bit deeper on this. We're going full Whitty mode, baby. This is it. This is the final straw. Don't even get me wound up. Hold on. I'm saving this for later, all right? I'm trying to keep it together right now because I know our stupid-ass pal Abu is probably watching, but this is the one that pisses me off the most. $21,000 from the Indiana Republican State Committee right now, and at least back in 2023, and I couldn't even get an email back from the HRCC, which I may or may not have actually gave her money. I don't think she did. She got any money from them. Also, Brad Chambers, Kyle Pierce, who is a state rep, Tim Sadiq, which apparently you guys did not like my comments when I talked about Tim Sadiq. It was just about the whole Rokita thing that I brought up when I did the Diego video. Also, Jennifer Hollowell, who is part of Hollowell's Consulting. We will be talking about her again in a little bit. Also, Ellie Bartlett, by the way. So when Natalie was running for council, Nick Roberts had sent out these negative mailers about Natalie Goodwin. I don't even know what they said, but then Natalie Goodwin did a video in a very low-lit area. It looked like there was some kind of hostage video. I was asking myself, Natalie, if you're okay, blink twice. We're looking out for you, girl. And then Allie Bartlett over here, by the way, a lobbyist. I think she's a partner now for Bose McKinney Evans, former lobbyist for Bose Public Affairs. She is a elected Republican precinct committee woman. She was also, which I have proof on this, and she also told me that she helped my Democrat opponent, Justin Moed. So, Natalie, if you are watching right now, if you have a traitor in the party, will you please kick them out? If you will not kick out a traitor, someone who is actively door knocking, like spending your time on it, do you not think that they should be kicked out of the party? But anyway, Megan Savage. Let's go back to Megan Savage. And who is Megan Savage? Not much really there, but she did work for Suzanne Brooks the same time that Natalie Goodwin was working there. That's where the connection point is there. Remember, I'm gonna be pointing this out here. Where is it? Boom, right there. This is where the most important part is. We got Natalie Goodwin right here, Megan Savage. Natalie Goodwin is married to Nick Goodwin, healthcare lobbyist. Natalie Goodwin's treasurer is Megan Savage, who is married to Cam Savage. We'll talk about here in a second. Cam Savage runs Limestone Strategies, did Jefferson Shreve, Todd Young's came, Todd Husnick, Chris Garton. But the Shreve and the Todd Young connection is the most important because it connects to Bullhorn Communications. Because when I'm all done with this thing, I will be the end goal for Natalie Goodwin to be chair is because so Limestone Strategies and all these consulting firms can get money for the prosecutor's election, which is next year, and then the following year, which is the mayor's race. And I'll point this out. I got the proof. All right, so who is Cam Savage? Limestone Strategies helped out Eric Doden. That's right. And also helped out Jefferson Shreve. I think that's all I got in this one, right? All right, cool. We're good. Okay. There we go. All right. So also Indy Chamber endorsed Natalie Goodwin. Fun fact, she was the only one, at least for the city council, that the Indy Chamber endorsed, and she lost. They honestly have a pretty good record of endorsing people and they win. Yeah. Okay, so obviously Suzanne Brooks. Remember last week and I said smash or pass, and I said pass, expired. But let's talk about the Limestone Strategies. All right, who do they help? All these people down here is still moving up and down. Who was Limestone Strategies? We got Cam Savage, Kevin Ober, Leanne Putz, and Kate D. Turk. These two were recently hired, by the way. Interesting timing, I might add. Right here, this is from a week ago. I'm not sure if it's changed or not. Hold on, let's see if it's changed. Because that was a week ago, and now, yeah, still was a week ago. It's very interesting timing, though. And from what I have understood, what I have heard, is that Liam Putz and Kate the Turk, yeah. They have been at the township meetings to help out Natalie, taking videos of her, taking notes, because apparently she's not a very good public speaker. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But Catherine DeTurk, Katie DeTurk, it reminds me of like something from some movie like The Turk. I don't know why. But anyway, communications director and obviously press secretary for Rogers for Senate. Also worked for the Nikki Haley president. Yeah, our old friend Nikki Haley. But also Liam Putz worked for Rogers for Senate as well. And Doden, by the way. So Cam Savage was helping out Doden. This guy was helping out Doden. And then the tie-in for the Turk and Putz is Rogers for Senate. All right, so who is Cam Savage? Well, Cam Savage is obviously a fan of Todd Young, but also not a very fan of, also a very big fan of Greg Doyle back from 2023, old creepy Doyle. Also not a fan of Trump. And I know you can go into his Twitter and you can look these up yourself and you can taste like, well, that's not a bad thing. Maybe he's just having a little fun, not a big deal. But also when he talks about the Capitol riots, like, oh my God, Donald Trump basically caused these riots. That's the kind of energy that I'm getting from this guy, obviously. Then also big fan of Mike Pence from what it looks like. Say that Vice President Pence's nephew announced today the formation of his overtly MAGA K Street lobbying firm. Also, this one is probably the key part of him not liking Trump. More anti-Trump than anything. More Mike Pence, more Nikki Haley, more definitely anti-Trump, though, when they have an opinion article about bad leadership as a national security threat. And he goes, yes, 1,000 times yes. So that tells me he's not a fan of Trump. Also, he is a fan of Stuart Stevens. Who is Stuart Stevens? Well, he was part of Project Lincoln, also allegedly a Mitt Romney corrupt campaign manager. But this is my favorite tweet right here. Stevens is a member of John Weaver's Lincoln Project. Weaver used his resource to make sexual advances online to underage boys. Only until it was reported, Stevens and the Lincoln Project defended Weaver. So looks like Cam Savage is a fan of John or Stevens, who was allegedly protecting John Weaver because allegedly John Weaver was making sexual advances online to underage boys. So, this does seem like a character problem when you have the guy liking Greg Doyle, who is kind of a creep, especially to Caitlin Clark, and then him being like, oh, no, I like this guy, Stevens, who is allegedly protecting a pedophile, allegedly, according to this stuff. I'm just reading whatever they're reading. But I can read in between the lines, too. But how does this connect to Shreve, obviously? Well, because Limestone Strategies looked like got over $1 million from Jefferson Shreve when he was running for Congress, according to these FEC reports. It's a lot of money. It's definitely, oh, no, wait, this wasn't, that's Bullhorn. Okay, so he didn't get $1 million, but he's from Limestone Strategies. I'm sure that he did, though. I'm sure that he wanted that anyway. But here's where some of the weird stuff is. This is just kind of feeding into my curiosity with Kevin Broghammer. And then that doesn't matter. My point on all this part, I'm not going to go through too much of it. If for some reason, whenever Limestone Strategy is involved, these PACs and these congressional or Congress people who are running for office always seem to line up with this Broghammer guy. I'm not exactly sure why, but when you find his LinkedIn, it doesn't mention anything about him having a consulting company. It's just Anheuser-Busch. Because here, boom, that guy looks like that guy. Am I right or am I wrong? Okay, I'm right. I know that I am. You're welcome. All right, so why does this matter? Well, because when Mears ran for office in 2022 for the prosecutor's race, he got the old Diablo number, and then Carrasco raised $838,000. Yeah, a lot of money. So that's what this whole thing is, the money scheme. And then we can't forget our favorite golden boy, Joe Hogsett, who raised $6.4 million, but also the golden goose, Jefferson Shreve, who spent $14.6 million. Yeah, it's a lot of money. So I'm sure they're all crusty in their pants right now because they're like, I want more money like this. We need more daddy so we can feed our consulting firms. It has nothing to do with Marion County. It has nothing to do with Indy about trying to make it better. It just has to do with the prosecutors in the mayor's race. And I wouldn't be surprised if Shreve donates to the prosecutor or the mayor, or he signs off on the consulting firms for that. All right. So now that we got the quick 15-minute recap, let's talk about what has happened since last Tuesday. Our friend, the slug, Abu over here, Abu the Toad. He is obviously trying to smear John right now. John Schmitz, who is running for Marion County Republican Party chairman, told me tonight that the cheat sheet was garbage. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, John's right. We don't blame him for hating our publication since it has more readers than he has followers, allegedly. Well, how are we even going to know how many readers that he has? You have to pay $50 a month for it. All right. But also, for all of you guys talking about how much I was crapping on boomers and them wanting to jolly themselves while they were talking to Natalie Goodwin, who does she pick as vice chair? All right. Am I right? Or am I right? And I know Abu, our friend Abu, do I still have it? He talked about me during the cheat sheet, and he couldn't even spell my name right. I don't think I have it, right? I don't think I have it. It's fine, though. I don't care. Also, Micah Beckwith decided to endorse John, which is a big deal, because after that happened, this officially became establishment versus grassroots, just like when Julie McGuire ran against Micah for the lieutenant governor. That is what's going on. Now, some of you, I know, don't like Micah, and that's fine. But for you, all of you in the Republican Party, do you think what Micah is doing right now on Twitter, on Facebook, on social media, and telling everybody, hey, we need to figure out these property taxes and really getting the word out? Do you think Julie McGuire would be doing that? Do you think she would be putting all this effort into, hey, I want people to have more money in their pockets? Just saying. Because I never went to any of those events where Braun was introducing Julie as the lieutenant governor or his endorsement for her. But the stories that I heard from those are very similar to what I'm hearing from the Goodwin and Schmidt's candidacy right now. Is that, well, I'm going to talk about there in a second. So what happened after that? John Schmidt's reportedly threatening and blackmailing PCs to vote for him the Marion County chairman race on March 1st. Anyone? More in the next cheat sheet. Again, of course, going back to the gossip column. Hey, what about Diego? Didn't hear anything back from that. Oh, wait a minute. Did he say, between the Diego, Schmidt's for Indiana, Research Ash? Who the fuck is this person? Are you just plucking people out of the garden and be like, hey, everybody should really be paying attention to all the, check out my gossip column, huh, boys and girls? Don't mind that. Like, I have a bad record for all this stuff. But to be fair, Abu did post the recording from last night's Decatur Township candidacy, basically a town forum, and I listened to it. First off, Abu is a mouth breather. All right, you can hear him the entire time go. So the toad is definitely a mouth breather. Plus he has soft hands. So this was basically like a quick mini note taking. I have like 2 pages of notes, but I know you guys don't care about it. Just go to hisindypolitics.org. You can listen to it yourselves. I think it's like 20 minutes, the whole thing, maybe half an hour. Elizabeth Williams is a fucking rock star. She is on it. If John wins, she is going to be an amazing vice chair. Dave Taylor, on the other hand, he did not want to be there. He was not prepared. And listen, I know Cam Savage and Putz and the Turk is listening to all this right now, and they're taking all of my comments. And by the way, I got this in the mail today, this Natalie Goodwin thing. I never got an email, but I did get a letter, so I appreciate that. And I'm sure whoever she's using, like Cam Savage, is probably wasting all the money on stamps, because I know postage is not cheap. But anyway, so it did not seem like Dave Taylor wanted to be there. It did remind me a lot when Terry Gooden was the lieutenant governor candidate for. Or was running with McCormick. Like, he did not want to be there. He's just floating by. He's like, I don't care. Sure, whatever. One of the things that Goodwin talked about that she mentioned in this was holding Hogsett accountable, but she never mentions Ryan Mears. Kind of weird, right? Well, not really, honestly. And I know why, but I'm not going to say why, because I don't have any real proof of it. Isn't that right, Cam? And the biggest thing that I noticed, and listen, I am basically a normie. If you're friends with me, you're not friends with me because you're trying to climb the political ladder. I'm just a regular guy back here using weaponized autism and just giving you as much information that I can give you, just exposing the truth. But Natalie just seems so out of touch with what is going on with everybody else. I'm sure it doesn't help living in a $500,000 castle on the north side. I'm sure it doesn't help being a venture capitalist. She was talking about how, we got to work together and all this other shit. But I was like, well, where the fuck have you been for the last year and some change? And this was also probably by far the biggest one. The very last question, I forgot what it was, but she said, I really did not want to do this. I was fighting it. I had to ask, I had to go to church, and I had to get this basically divine intervention to say, no, Natalie, the great voice told me in my ears, said, no, Natalie, you need to run for county chair. Really? Because but before that, she just kept talking about how I didn't really want to do this. And I was like, if you didn't want to do this, then you're not all in. And if you're not all in, I don't want you to be chair. Because if any one of us decide that we want to run for office, we want to know that you're going to be there, that you're going to help us out. And one of the funny things that it was even in this too, was making sure we have the right people that are running for office. Like who? That's what I want to know. Who are your people that you want to run for office? Because it sounds like you don't want the normies running for office. You don't want people like me running for office. People like John running for office that he's been fighting for almost 7 years. So obviously, not a big fan of that. And I will tell you what. One more thing to add on top of this: if you go onto Abu's Twitter and you look up John, what will you find? A whole bunch of stuff smearing John. And then what happens? Do you see when you type in Natalie? Like three things about Jim Bakes endorsing Natalie Goodwin. Even though you had Micah endorse John. And then nothing smearing, nothing criticizing her at all. Nothing about her losing to some 23-year-old twink that lives with his grandparents and has no full-time job. That needs to ask Mama and Pop for gas money so he can go to the city council meetings. None of that, though, right? Just, hey, I want to be, I don't want to I don't want to talk bad about you. I just want to hold your water so I can get invited to all the things at all these cigar clubs and the whiskey clubs and whatever. Of course. But we also have to remember, what is Abu the toad, Abu the slug? What is he like? You got the clip ready. Yeah. Oh my God, I can't wait for this because this is going to tie everything. This is going to kind of start like Mario Kart Rainbow. When you hit the thing, you're like, Yahoo, Yahoo. That's exactly what this clip is going to show. Trust me on this. All right. So, but we have to look at Abu's, hey, Beyond Formal in the house. Make sure you follow Beyond Formal on Rumble and Twitter too. A lot of good stuff happening over in the region. Abu does not have a good record. What did he say? Well, been asked many times today how I think the race between Hogsett and Shreve will be. Hogsett 56-57, Shreve maybe 52-51. Boy, was he off on that. Also, the favorite one, honestly, the whole favorite one, my favorite one was the whole Destiny Wells when she ran against Diego, and then she went against Rokita, and he's like, Wells, Rokita on a statistical dead heat. And also, polls show trouble for Morales. And what happened with that? Destiny, 58-41. And then when she ran against Diego, 54-40. And honestly, it would have been higher for Diego if Jeff Maurer was not in the race. It would have been 60-40. So, Evil Eyes, home wrecker Wells, eats another L along with Abu. And not only that, but I even remember when I did my interview with Abu, I'm not going to bore you with the details. He has soft hands. He was late. I only got 8 minutes with him. And then he was talking to me how he thinks that McCormick has a real chance. And I was like, I was thinking to myself, you don't smell like weed, but you obviously have to be high if you think that McCormick is going to win. And what happened? 54-41. It would have been higher if Rainwater was not in the race. It was probably closer to 60-40. And okay, so this is where things get really interesting. Let's talk about this. Get the clip ready. Is this whole Bullhorn Communications, and I'm going to tie this thing up with Bullhorn here in a second. Shreve spent over $1 million with Bullhorn Communications, and what did they do? All right, roll the clip, please.
Here. Can you describe your own personal faith at Baptist, and do you think there's a role for the county sheriff to engage with the faith community in the city?
Certainly. I think one of the, it's funny you say that because for a long time, this opportunity presented itself and I tried very hard to not do this. I've got stuff going on in my life and I was looking and praying and begging for every sign that said, do not do this. You have other priorities right now. And unfortunately, I went to I was like, all right, we're going to church on Sunday. And I'm like, surely this will be the one. It's going to be something about focusing on this or that. And the message was essentially, if you've been given an opportunity and you believe you have the talent, it is your will to step up and serve in that way. And I took that as, okay, this is something I've been thinking and praying a lot about. I'm going to take this opportunity and put my name out there. It's not an easy process for anyone who's put their name on the ballot here. Doesn't matter if it's just PCs voting or you're out publicly. It is very challenging. A lot of people have a lot of thoughts. Most people are genuinely kind, but there are some that are not. and there's no reason, to have to subject yourself to that unless it's something that you really feel called to do. And my faith has been part of what has led me to be standing here and the future of my children. So I absolutely think there's a role to play in the faith community because I think it's the foundation of a great society, and I believe that we should be engaging and finding those leaders who come from those places who really feel called and passionate to be here for the right reasons.
Okay, that wasn't the clip, but that wasn't the one. I sent John a clip earlier today, and I was thinking of the wrong one. But yeah, she's on a mission from God. That's right, Spiro. That's what I'm hearing. First, she didn't want to do it. She was fighting every urge to actually run for county chair. But all of a sudden, divine intervention showed up and said, no, Natalie, you must run for county chair. You will be the savior of Indianapolis, girl. Slay, queen. That's what the good Lord was saying. All right. So obviously, she is not very good at marketing, maybe communication. So this is where the connection starts happening. Bullhorn Communications. Bullhorn Communications worked with Jefferson Shreve, had a Millie. Okay, and then get ready in about 30 seconds for the clip. And Shreve had had Bullhorn do some smear stuff on Mike Speedy at the end. But this was my favorite when he called himself the true conservative. The true conservative. Even though, if you guys remember, okay. Yeah, how can Shreve be a moderate but also a true conservative? Okay, go ahead and play it.
I'm a moderate Republican, and so I fall somewhere in the middle with a whole lot of other citizens in this city.
What's it mean to put America first? Ask Jefferson Shreve. Build an honest business. Employ neighbors and put your name on the line for them. Defend the sanctity of human life. Spend only what's needed. Finish the wall. Fix our border. Back our police with conviction. Owe nothing and no one but God above. And defy anyone who'd sell out this country. That's Jefferson Shreve. For law, order, and a secure border.
I'm Jefferson Shreve. I approve this message.
Okay, so that was very funny, right? And if you, I don't have the clip with me, or the picture with me right now, but he was on a talk show, and the lady asked him if Trump was in the primary, if he won the primary, would he vote for her or vote for Trump? So basically, if Trump was the Republican nominee, would Shreve vote for Trump? And he said no. So there's a lot of things adding up to where there are a lot of anti-Trump people helping out Natalie. We got Cam Savage, we got Shreve, but Shreve is definitely more of a shapeshifter more than anything. Yeah, definitely. Jamie was definitely more. Yeah, anybody who's met Jamie, she is definitely genuine. But here was something else too that I found, because I remember this commercial. Shreve had put that smear, making fun of Mike Speedy's commercial of him shooting stuff, and you can't hear this, but that's fine. But yeah, it's still here. Stage ammunition, right-handed vest, left-handed shooter. This is on the Indy Reporter Twitter. You can go over there and check it out. It's usually I think it's one of the top ones, or you can just look for it. So anyway, ended up finding out that Mike Speedy, that vest belonged to his dead father. And Mike Speedy was talking about, he's like, when I wear this whenever I go shooting, because I feel like he's with me. And, because we all, he taught me gun safety. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. Shreve was making fun of his vest, and and Mike Speedy's vest belonged to his dead dad. That's unbelievable. Maybe Shreve didn't know or whatever, but it's very funny that Shreve was mocking Mike Speedy about the gun stuff when Shreve ran for mayor. He was very anti-gun. He wanted to raise the age limit to buy a gun. He wanted to get rid of assault rifles or AR-15s or whatever it was. He basically bent the knee to the liberal left. And now he's like, oh, actually, I'm a true conservative. Oh, I'm a Trump guy now. Okay, well, you're just a chameleon, man. It's like, we don't even know what we are. All we know is that you're a shapeshifter. And if you remember, too, Shreve defended the public safety plan. Whoever was on his team for that should have been fired immediately. And I think I even said that when it happened. But Not only that, but now our old friend Jefferson Shreve, he is puffing out his chest. He wants to know what are going on with the packages in Indianapolis. So he wrote a stern letter. Hey, man, where are these packages at? Don't make me send you a fax. Hey, if I got to text you at 2 in the morning, I will do that multiple times. So it is very funny. Don't worry. We're going to tie this to Bullhorn here in a second. Boom, right there. Whenever the Indianapolis GOP has the Republican of the Week, by the way, if you want to be Republican of the Week and you don't have some kind of establishment background, you have to pay $35,000. That is one, I'm sorry, maybe it's $37,000. John, can you help me out with this one? Is it 35 or 37? Well, you have to pay the party to actually get onto social media for them to help you out on this. Now, who is this lovely lady? This is Reagan Gamache. She's a Northsider and calls Rocky Ripple home. A digital and media mastermind. And she was part of the 2023 cycle and continues to support campaigns today. Well, who exactly's campaign did she help? Where the freak is it? Okay, so she's also married to Brian Gamache. Who is Brian Gamache? Helped out Eric Doden. That's right. Have a good night, Brandon. Eric Doden, the same people that Cam Savage helped out, also part of the Todd Young team, also part of the Hathaway strategies. Anne Hathaway, the former Indiana GOP chair. Very interesting. So we're already getting the connections. Also intern for Todd Young, but then ended up helping out Todd Young, helped out Eric Doden. Very interesting, right? But also, who are the people from Bullhorn? Ryan Horn, not that much. He was a field finance manager for National Republican Senatorial Committee, also senior manager of public affairs. So for Walmart, that one was kind of funny. So you were a Walmart lobbyist? Kind of cool, honestly. But who else was on here? Eric Colin. Eric Colin is this guy right here. Oh, what's that? Friends of Todd Young. This is unbelievable. We are getting some Todd Young connections right now, folks. Yeah. Oh, I know, Thomas. Believe me, I know. Do not estimate the destructive power of the low information voter. That was the funniest thing of how many people fell for the whole Shreve thing. Like nobody was like, oh, wait a minute. He wanted to get rid of my guns. He bent the knee to the left. Now all of a sudden he's actually pro-gun and he's making fun of someone for a gun commercial. But I'm sure, you know what? Why not? This guy has a lot of money. That means he's smart, right? Oh, he could be a good leader. You know what? He's such a strong guy that he writes strong worded letters to USPS. And then also, let's talk about Grace Leahy Brown. Not much going on with her, by the way, other than the Heritage Foundation, but, seems clean, which is good, right? But Reagan Gamache, digital director for Shreve. Interesting. Oh, what's that? Deputy finance director for Todd Young. What? Worked for Fatness for Fishers. Oh, my. Kelly for Indiana. College Republican. Hathaway Strategies intern. Folks, trust me when I tell you, we got a problem here. This is establishment versus grassroots. They're pulling out all the stops, and I guarantee you they will be doing more smear campaigns against John and most like yours truly. There's a good chance of that because Abu was already mad about the smash and pass thing. Our lovely Toad Abu was saying it's like, well, he was making remarks about old people touching themselves or beating themselves up below their nether regions if they were talking to a cute blonde or a cute brunette. Maybe a young brunette, who knows, maybe a millennial brunette. Well, guess what? I am who I am, so go cry some more. I don't care. But get ready for the smear articles, folks. This is going to get real fun. But this is where the fun begins. That's right. Because Jim Banks, by the way, also Jim Banks coffee mug, got it from the GOP convention, Indiana GOP convention. It makes for a smooth, you know what? My coffee tastes so much better in the morning with a Jim Banks cup. I am on the Jim Banks wagon, everybody. And from what he had a Team Banks campaign school the other day, over the weekend. Some very familiar faces in this picture, by the way. I don't know who this person is. She looks like an op. Anybody who has blue hair, she's an op. But from what I understand, this was more of a... Okay, so the picture isn't in there. This, from what I understood, this was an anti-Todd Young campaign training. Maybe I'm wrong. Hey, maybe I'm wrong. And if that's what you're about, then that's very interesting, because from what I can tell, the Todd Young people are helping out Natalie Goodwin. And, you know, if that's the case, then you should be voting for John, because if you want someone to be more Todd Young, you vote for Natalie Goodwin. If you want someone more anti-Todd Young, you vote for John. It's literally that simple. If you want the GOP chair for Marion County to be a Todd Young person, you vote for Natalie. But hey, guess what? I know some of the faces in here are probably voting for Natalie. And if you're voting for Natalie, you're a fake. Because if you're anti-Todd Young and you call yourself, you can't vote for Natalie then. That's my point on this whole thing. Okay. So everything is fake and lame. I made this on purpose because, okay, we got 10 minutes. That's perfect. That's perfect, because we're about to light it up right now. We're about to light it up. Everything is fake and lame. Why do I say that? Because you have to look at the pictures. You have to look at the propaganda of all this stuff, because unfortunately, all of you will fall for it. Not me, though. Not me. I'm not only uncorruptible, I'm also, I can weed through the propaganda because I'm awesome. Why do I say this? Well, obviously, Jefferson Shreve was endorsed by David Taylor, who happens to be Natalie Goodwin's vice chair. So boom, connection to Shreve right there. You might as well just call it a connection to Todd Young while we're at it too. And remember what I was saying, where that connection is? Boom, Natalie Goodwin, Megan Savage, Cam Savage, Jefferson Shreve, Bullhorn Communication, and all lines up with the prosecutors and the mayor's election. If you haven't figured this out by now, I don't know what else to tell you. Then you just might as well just lay under the rock, stay behind the curtain, and just, you know, vote for whatever make your feelings better. Speaking of feelings, though, everybody seems to want to vote for with their feelings without any true data, and it's so annoying. And I was going to go into another tangent, but you should be voting with more of data. And you know, this is a message for John and Natalie, to be honest with you. There is so much low-hanging fruit right now, and I'm going to give you a couple of things that you guys should be talking about the next time, because I think there's probably one more meeting left. Talk about this. If you want to win, this is how you get people on your side. You give them the data, and this is the real data. 5 years of Democrat supermajority in Indy. 5 years of 200-plus homicides. Straight years, by the way. Almost 11,000 people have left Indianapolis from 2020 to 2024. Our residential roads aren't being plowed. And this is all low-hanging fruit. And if you want to say, oh, well, who's to blame with that? You blame leadership. This is how you win. You talk about this stuff during the chair candidate forum, and you say, we're going to get people in there, and we're going to be smushing everybody's face with all this data, and keep asking the people of Indianapolis, is this what you want? Hey, instead of 5 years of 200-plus homicides, how about 10? How about 10 more years of a Democrat supermajority? How about 10 straight? How about more years without getting your residential roads paved? Plowed. How about your roads not being paved? How about more potholes? Are you okay with that? And this is what easily candidates can be running on 24/7. And this is, hey, you're welcome, by the way, with all this data. And this is what I bring for you. I'm a gifts giver. But going on from that, this is where it gets really fake and lame. All right, so Jefferson Shreve was obviously the pro-Julie McGuire people. So we know who's going to be voting for Natalie. Jefferson Shreve, Carrasco, and Julie McGuire. Half the people in Perry Township, if not all of them. Some people from Decatur Township, probably Washington Township. Pike Township's pretty much littered. I actually don't know much about Pike Township, but I know they're corrupt. Maybe Franklin Township, and what's the other one? Well, there is no Wayne Township, honestly, so I can't even throw them in there. But where is it? Okay, so we all know that they were pro that. Here's the other thing, Julie McGuire. Where is it? I know you're around here. Okay, so we know that. Boom, here it is. Okay, so this was from the Perry Township GOP meeting from last night. Don't know some of these people, but we do know who that person is. And she'll keep showing up in different pictures as well. It's so weird how she keeps showing up in pictures. But wait, who is that? Savannah Kernstein. She used to be she was the deputy campaign manager for Shreve, also part of Catalyst, also for, but now she's the now the president of Reliable Energy, which I have no idea how she is the president of a energy lobbying firm. Which is bananas to me because she has no experience in that. But, you know, we all know how that works out. Here's the other thing. 7 minutes left, and I'm going to probably spend the rest of my time on this. There are two things to this. First off, those who did not get the email, this is the email. And one of the questions I asked was, who is this Marion County Leadership Committee? That's what I want to know. And nobody knew. Well, there was an address on the bottom of it. I'm not going to tell you who the address is or where it goes to. If you got the email, just look up the address. That will answer a lot of questions because then we know that this committee and who is running the committee. I'm just going to leave it at that. Go ahead and look it up yourself. All right. So most important part. Last week, I talked about the campaign reports. And right at the day after that video happened, you know how you have links and they'll be blue? Well, there are like 4 blue links. And what do those blue links indicate? That you have not clicked on them before. They'll turn purple. They'll turn purple. And so what did I find on that? All right, this is what I found. All right, so where are we at? Oh, crap. I got to change this real quick. Okay. So I noted that this was January 7th. It was filed. But then for some reason, it was showing February 7th. I'm like, well, how is that possible? If you filed it, but the date shows 2/7, somebody goofed up. Also, the rest of the campaign reports do not even have the date on them, which last I checked is not allowed. Look at the signatures also. I noted this before. And this is what happened the day after. They changed the filing date to February 7th to match this. And they deleted all the other ones. I don't know if I still have it. No, I do not have the screenshot that I took. I don't think I do. And I have to go back to a bunch of other stuff. No, I have to go back and look for it, which I'm not going to do right now. But they changed the filing date from January 7th to February 7th. They left everything. And you can even look at the signatures too. They're the same. Nothing's changed. So what does that tell me? That means there's some corruption or there's some fraud going on right now. Now, how do we figure this out is the bigger question. Because who does the county chair appoint? Well, they appoint people for election board and voter registration. And so if John wins, we can find out what the hell happened with some of this stuff. Oh, crap. There we go. Why wouldn't we want to know what happened with the campaign reports? Here's one more thing that happened when they got amended. This was the original. Okay, first off, I want to show you this stuff right now. How much of a mess Natalie Goodwin is, or at least whoever is running her campaign. Total 9 sheets. Total pages for 9, right? 2 of 9. 2 of 9. Wait, what? What? 4 of 9? Okay. What? 6 of 9? What the crap? 6 of 9 again. 8 of 9. What? 8 of 9 again. 9 of 9. What is going on right now? But when you look at this was the original, right? Yeah. And they didn't even write, is this an amendment or not? You're supposed to check one of these off. But looking at the filing date, this was the from 2023, 10/14 to 2023, 12/31 to 2023. All right, this was the new amended one. Amended, yes. And here's the same dates, 10/14, 12/31, after the election, the annual. Let's look at it again. 2 of 9, 2 of 9 again, 4 of 9 again, 6 of 9 again, 6 of 9 again, 8 of 9 again, 8 of 9, 9 of 9. Boom, it's blank though. What got changed? What got changed, pray tell? Bullhorn Communications is the new amended. Spent $10,000 will pull Bullhorn Communications. That's right. The same people that Shreve spent $1 million with, the same people that were, where is it? There we go. GOP Person of the Week. It's all making connections right now. This is my point. All right. Who do you want? What are our options right now? We have an establishment, Natalie Goodwin, who can't even fill out campaign reports, but somehow she's going to be the queen GOP of Marion County. Or we have John Schmitz, who's ran multiple campaigns, knows how to file campaign reports, knows how to get people excited, knows how to get people on the ground to get in there. And you can see right now what he's doing, texting, messaging, getting people out there and expanding the voice and finding out what people actually want. Now, if you want to know what happened with those campaign reports, you will vote for John Schmitz because I want to know where the fraud is. We want to know not just where that fraud is for the election board, but everything else. Do you not think that there's something else going on with some of this voter stuff? We want to get the voter rolls updated. Does this not give you goosebumps? Does this not give you the hairs tingling on the back of your neck? Because it does for me. I want to know what's going on inside the election board, inside the voter registration board. Most importantly, I want somebody who's willing to help Wayne Township out because that is not Natalie Goodwin. Every time that she was bringing up during that Decatur Township talk last night, she kept saying, we got to get the people in there. We got to get the people in there. Okay, well, how exactly are you going to do that? And where have you been? Ooh. Boy, that was good, wasn't it? Hey, good for you? Yeah? Yeah? All right. All right. Well, I got mine. That's all that matters. And that's all. Johnny GOP should be Marion County chair. That is all I'm saying. So on March 1st, it will be a private vote, by the way. So when you vote, nobody's going to know who you voted for. You don't have to worry about getting attacked by the GOP. And whatever smear articles that Abu or Cam Strategies or Cam Savage of Limestone Strategies comes out, don't believe anything, all right? Use your brain. We know about all these smear articles. With that, that's all I got. Yeah.